Hello, taking a little bit of a detour, going around the room a little bit. Next up, I have a video for Battle Sound Skeletor that came out in what it looks like people are calling the modern line of He-Man. And it came out in 2002, manufactured by Mattel. And as far as it says, this is the only variation, but I do see that some people say that there was a version of this character or action figure that was released in Germany, and instead of speaking in English, I guess it said its phrases or phrase in German. So I kind of see that as a variant, but maybe, since it looks exactly the same as this, it's not considered a variant. Um, so thankfully, just like with most of the He-Mans, Skeletor, pretty much every figure came with the updated version of the Power Sword. And I haven't been following He-Man, my whole life. But when this line came out, it was just, G.I. Joe was off the shelves or something, and, the detail on these things are just amazing. So I don't really know all the stuff there is to know about He-Man. I'm just kind of a casual He-Man, person or collector or whatever. But thankfully, pretty much as far as I know, every Skeletor came with this updated Power Sword, and I just keep fussing with it because it's made out of soft plastic, and so it doesn't like to stay in shape. But thankfully, I have this one here, and as you can see, it splits into two, and then thankfully, I have another one that I've just left the plastic tie or whatever on there, so then it just stays together. I mean, when you have two, there's no reason to mess up with both, I think. So then a very new and updated Havoc staff. Who are you looking at, And then nice little point there. Good size. And I also like the fact that even though he has this metallic kind of paint and armor on here, you can still see little parts of his original, and by original I mean the updated costume or armor. So, right there, those are pretty much the same. The paint details are probably different because depending on what Skeletor you're looking at, I noticed the paint is not always, these aren't always painted. But then you can also see this is from, the updated armor. And then they just added this and all this stuff. So I think that's really nice that it's not, that different, but there's still a little bit of differences added to this. And if I remember right, it was the episode where they eat some type of bee type stuff or whatever, and so it kind of makes sense that this armor went over their normal armor and didn't just change them completely. Got the really nice armbands right there. And they pretty much hid the sound box very well in this Skeletor because the He-Man one was very boxy and it didn't really make sense. I guess maybe if you pretend like it was a backpack or something, but this one they just kind of gave him more of a hunched back, and I don't think it really looks out of place. The only thing I think is, unfortunately, it hurts is his spikes right here. And that's mostly because the sword, and you kind of have to put one of these prongs in the back here. because if you try and do both of them, that's as far as you can get it in, but if you do that, it fits all the way. But I'm just thinking, if he's supposed to reach that, how does he do that? So it's too bad they couldn't brought down the spikes a little bit or something. But it is, after all, just a toy. And this kind of moves around. It probably is completely removable, like right there or something. I've never understood that, but I've noticed a lot of times people always talk about how the armor is removable, and I don't know if that's because a lot of kids removed their armor from the original, 80s figures, but that's always like a big deal and always a selling gimmick. So I don't know what that's all about, but like I said, G.I. Joe is my main line and what I had mostly as a kid, even though I had all of them, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and in fact I recently bought too many of those. So I'm trying to stay with G.I. Joe, but it kind of has like a face, right there, because this is kind of like a mouth and teeth. And then where the sound comes through kind of looks like a nose, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 little slits that allow the sound to come out. And then right here are the eyes. And then this is kind of like the brow. So very nice there. And it's got kind of a paint black wash on it. And I've been debating this, but with the 2002 line, I just remembered I was so happy when the cartoon came on, and every once in a while I catch myself saying one particular line, and so you guys have all been supportive, so here's my first attempt at a voice, and I probably don't sound like him at all, but I guess that's what YouTube's all about. There's so many worse things people do on YouTube, so me doing a voice, I guess, can't be that bad. But so it's something like, oh, no, that's not good at all. Oh, and He-Man, I lied. So I'm always saying that every once in a while. That one, and then a few lines from the G.I. Joe movies, both the 80s one and the updated one. Just every once in a while I'll catch myself trying to do that. And then every once in a while I can do the old school Cobra Commander voice, or at least I think I can, because I don't know how great that Skeletor impersonation was. But I have to kind of have a not so dry voice, so I don't know how Chris Latat did Cobra Commander's voice, but so jealous of him that he was able to do that, and so jealous of anyone else that's able to do the iconic Cobra Commander voice. So anyway, so you heard my bad impersonation of Skeletor, but that's the 2002 updated voice. And I think I'm more of a fan of that Skeletor, because the 80s one, there goes Duke. So I'm going to have to hope that he stops barking. Hey! But since Thunderhound, we heard your cat, but I think my dog's a little louder than your cat. So his voice was a little too campy and not scary or whatever. But here's the updated, or not updated, but the voice from the original 80s cartoon. And it makes that clanging sound, and that's supposed to be the sound of the sword, or maybe the Havoc staff. But you can also get it from doing the iconic Thunder Punch. But anyway, so there's a video for Battle. I always want to call him Armor, but it's Battle Sound Skeletor. Just make sure I'm actually saying that right. Yeah, Battle Sound Skeletor. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we will see you all later. You want to say bye? Sure. Bye-bye.